Hey guys, happy Wednesday. It's me, Pivots Queen. And this week I'm doing things a little differently. It's Wednesday around 4:30 EST, and I'm late giving you guys my weekly analysis. So most of my analysis actually already played out for this week. I actually didn't really have much marked up. I only had like Nas and GJ marked up, and they both kind of played out perfectly. So for this video, instead of giving my weekly analysis, I'm actually just going to break down my entries for Nas this week and kind of break down how I traded Nas this week. So it's more of like a learning experience. And then hopefully next week I can record Monday markups over the weekend. So that way when the week starts, I'm not trying to record it because I ended up getting really, really busy at the beginning of this week. So I've used the replay bar. We are on NAS100. We're on the M15. And this is around Monday morning, around like 8:15, 8:30. And I just went back here so I could kind of break down what I looked like, what I was looking at, what I saw, and how I got my entries for this week. So this is basically how Nas looked. I try to send my charts and I try to send them like a full screen so you can see all of the zones I have. But when I send my updates, I kind of zoom in the charts and I realized that. But if you remember my two zones I had from last week, I think last week I said if we see a break and retest of the zone, buy up to the next zone. So I don't know if you guys ended up taking that trade. So starting off this week, we ended up having price break above this zone, but also break back below. So for when price was here, it looked like it was retesting this zone for me. I also drew a channel. So to draw a channel, you just need, if you're in a downtrend, you need 2 high points and a low point. And if I change this, I usually draw my channels on line charts. These were my 2 high points, and this is my low point. And I just drew the channel up there. And I saw price was near the top of my channel. Price was also retesting the zone. So I was looking to get in for a sell for this trade. So from looking at it from here, I was looking to get into a sell for this, but we are near the bottom of pivots on the M15. I haven't really taught in depth about pivots. I plan on making like a full-blown pivot video. But based on the M15, this looks like it could buy up some more, but what made me more lenient towards the sell is if I go to the hour pivot lines, we'll see that we're actually near the top of pivots on the hour. So this is the 8, and I'm typically looking for sales around the 8, right? So from that, I was like, okay, we could at least get a sell down to the 0. But my overall TP was down to this blue zone. And my reasoning for that, let me go back to the hour pivots. I know this is a lot of switching back and forth, but I want you to kind of see what I was looking at when I was getting into this trade. So back on the hour pivots, typically when I trade pivots, I'll trade, if I'm in a sell, I'll trade from the 8 to the 2. Or sometimes just like the 8 to the 4, but my typical take profits, if I'm entering at the 8, around the 8, TP1 is the R6, basically like the red and blue line. So R6 is the red line, so that's the TP. P4 is the blue line, so that's the TP. And then the S2 is a red line, so that's the TP. My TP was a little higher because I just wanted to have a TP above this zone, just in case price came and tapped this zone and bounced. So that's why that was my overall TP, and that's why it was so low. So hopefully that makes sense. If that didn't make sense, you can trade just using the channel, right? So take the pivots out the equation. If you just trade using the channel, if you're entering around the top of the channel, you want to exit near the bottom of the channel. So your TP would have been near here, probably like this green 4-hour zone. Right, so that was my trade Monday. I ended up getting in a little later, so that's why it's down here, because I got in around like 9:15. So this is a little earlier than I was on the charts that day. But if we let it play out, let's see, we hit TP1. And I usually move my stop loss to break even after TP1 or TP2. So my stop loss might have been moved to break even. I might have waited for TP2 for this one in particular. So here we are the next day. This is around 8, let it go, 8:15. So this is around 8:15 on Tuesday, right? And honestly, my analysis for Tuesday, I had 3 options that NAS can do from here just based on where it was. I was thinking NAS, well, this is option 8. I was thinking NAS could sell down to the S0 and then bounce up from that zone to back to this green zone. Option B was it could break out of this channel, come back to retest this channel, and then buy back up to this green zone. Or option C was it could sell down a little lower, even to the top of this zone, because this is now kind of like the bottom of this channel, and then buy up from this zone back to this green zone. So those were my 3 options on Tuesday. I actually didn't even enter a trade on Tuesday. I just moved my stops, break even, move my stop in profit, and I kind of just let the trade play out and kind of watch to see what ended up happening. So if we let this play out, option C ended up being the option that played out. So price finished completing the sell move. So I hit my overall TP for that one. And then price bounced up from here. Okay, so I didn't get into this initial bounce, even though I was expecting price like this be the lowest price come and then bounce up. I don't want to try to predict the market, especially because this move ended up happening at market close or near the close, like the end of the market. So I was like, I'll just get in the next day, which was today, Wednesday, and catch the rest of this buy move, especially if it breaks out the channel, when I'm asleep, because it's happened overnight. So if it breaks out the channel when I'm sleeping, it'll give me a good entry and I could catch the rest of the move up. So even though I didn't physically enter into this trade, I was happy to see that I was correct, at least in my analysis, and I did catch 3,544 pips from this sell move down, right? So I'm gonna let it play until the next day. Right, so now it's 8:15 the next day, and I can see price broke out of my channel, and it kind of did like a light retest, but price also broke above my 4-hour zone, which is what I was looking for. So I ended up getting into a buy kind of just right away when I saw the market open. I figured it would be a chance it could pull back down to this zone. So I set my stop loss kind of according to in case it pulls back down some more. So this ended up being the trade that I entered. I think I might have come to the market a little late because this is like 8. So I might have come to the chart a little later. But this was my trade set up for today, Wednesday. And I had the TP set at the top of the green zone, but I actually ended up setting up a swing at 8:12. So at the top or near the top of this zone, being my swing. If price breaks above this level, I would see it coming here. So even though this was like my overall TP, I've still had a couple trades that I was going to swing to this level just because I figured this would be the next level it come to. Price already broke through this 4-hour level before, so I wanted to see how strongly price broke through it again, and I would just hold my trades until it got up to that next zone. But this was my entry for now. Even though price is at the R6 on the 15 minute, so given the disclosure again, this is like, I normally wouldn't buy at the R6, but was a case scenario where I went back to the hour chart. And on the hour, this is actually the S1. So price had already come to the S0 and bought up. I love to see, especially when price comes to like the -1 or -2 and then reverses back to like the S0, because price it's like a 85-95% chance price is going to come to the S2. So I knew that at least my TP1 would get hit in this buy. Let me go back down to the 15. I'm gonna let this play out. So that was like opening bell where it kind of went down, but it didn't pull back as far as I thought it would. Oops. And it played out perfectly. It broke very strongly through that zone. Look at this. And so now this is where price is currently. I love how pivots reset on the 15 because this was the R6 down here when we were trading it this morning. But now pivots moves with the movement of the market. So now pivots shifted. And now that this is my R8, so that was my analysis on NAS this week. So I got 3,544 pips going down. And then from this entry, I actually got 750 pips on the way up when it TP'd here. And then I still have one trade that's like, I'm holding that I'm trying to swing up to here. And this, and I mean, it's still Wednesday, so still 2 more trading days in the week. But that's basically how I take NAS every week. I kind of just take it, day by day, but I always make sure to mark up on Sunday. So I'm still following the same markups that I had, from like Sunday. And then this was my analysis from like Tuesday. But it was a great week with NAS this week. Hopefully all of this makes sense to you and you were following along and you're like, yes, Courtney, that makes sense. If it didn't, I promise stick with me. It'll start to make more sense. And then be on the lookout for a video for next week so I could give my analysis of what I think is going to happen next week, and we'll see how the market plays out. But I hope everyone had fantastic blue weeks, and I will see you guys all next Monday.